Brandon.
I'm Jason.
Keegan. As you may know, our everyday society consists of technology, and it is becoming more and more advanced. Technology is everywhere. What if I told you that we have technology that is able to transport us from point A to point B without us doing a single thing? Ladies and gentlemen, the future is now. We are talking about self-driving vehicles. Today we're going to talk to you about car brands and companies that work with driverless cars, the benefits, and what to expect. So, Google, for instance, some of you may know that Google has been the first to test self-driving cars. They currently have a car, pictured to top left, called Waymo. Waymo stands for New Way Forward in Mobility. The cool thing about Waymo in that picture is it's small, just like a smart car. It actually has no steering wheel. Google Waymo has sensors that detect everything. So if you got a car that slows down, like it just picks up a lot of things. The cool thing that we researched was they have a sensor where if a cyclist, a biker, signals left, Waymo picks up on that sensor, slows down to let him come across. So the crazy thing about that is like technology really takes advantage of it. It really knows like how to like deal with certain situations like that. And it adjusts to road changes. So for example, if construction is going on, Waymo before it sees the road change already knows that there are road changes and it adjusts to it. Mercedes, this is actually the inside of the Mercedes vehicle. As you can see, it's like a luxury lounge in there. It is literally an amazing place to be. Like the technology in there is absolutely like crazy. They got when it comes to that car, you can use your hand gestures or a touch screen. On the side of the door, they have touch screens where you can like turn the car on. You can do certain put your calendar in. You just do certain things. Like technology in there is absolutely amazing. You can actually interact with the vehicle. Like you could talk to the vehicle. It'll tell you. You tell them, hey, I want to go so and so, and it will put in a location, drive you to from point A to point B. And out of all cars, this Mercedes is actually probably the most appealing when it comes to the design. As you can see, literally everybody, the seats are all facing each other. You can sit down, have a coffee, talk, and interact with your friend or family, whoever's in the car. So Mercedes is definitely really appealing when it comes to the design. Tesla, like Waymo, Mercedes, obviously they have the sensors that pick up a lot of things as well. Tesla, according to their engineering group, has developed neural net for vision, sonar, and radar processing software that provides a view of the world that a driver alone cannot access, seeing in every direction simultaneously and wavelengths that go far beyond the human senses. So basically, they're telling us that these cars do everything that we normally wouldn't be able to do. The Tesla has the ability to map the speed of traffic. So if the speed of traffic is 50 miles an hour, the car just adjusts basically to 50 miles an hour. 25, the traffic is slow, it adjusts. And the Tesla is actually really cool about this is when you start the car, if you don't say a single word to that car, it'll automatically locate your calendar, and based off your calendar, it'll take you to whatever it thinks that you're going. So basically, it's like trying to read your mind. You can also obviously tell the car, hey, I want to go so as well. And Uber, believe it or not, Uber's involved with the self-driving vehicle. It has, according to their engineers, they believe they have the strongest self-driving engineering group in the world. And they want to make self-driving vehicles a reality when it comes to Uber. Now, why would they want to do that? Well, according to Uber, they believe that they want to make their customers satisfied, which means they want to have safe transportation for their customers. And in order to do that, they believe self-driving vehicles are the way to go. When it comes to Uber, they also still need that driver in the car in case of emergency. So right now, it's still in the making, but Uber definitely wants to, continue to have at it with the self-driving vehicles. They believe it'll boost their profit. Now, why would Uber want to get involved? Well, that'll lead us to our next point, the benefits.
So with driverless cars, there are many benefits. The four that we have here are the major ones. First off is the safety, of course. The technology that is used, there's parts of it that we've seen today, even in our time, such as the emergency braking systems that are involved in the cars now. They're able to sense and predict even when the cars in front of them are about to brake or an accident is occurring. The cars are also, as stated by Evan Ackerman, the cars are also trying to be fitted to make the right decisions all the time, like the morally decisions. As we saw in an article, for example, if there's a group of people to your right and one person to the left, they want to have the ability to the car to cause less casualties, so it would make the moral choice of hitting one person than hitting a group of people. Also, with it being safer, we would have less DUIs and less drunk drivers on the road. Those people obviously would not be able to have control of that. The car would be able to get those people home safely, which also would just lead to safer roads and people that are near the road as well. Second is it's more fuel efficient. With it being more fuel efficient, the car can kind of track how much effort it should put into the driving. For example, what the right speed would be to save energy in the car. Also, most driverless cars are going to be electric, so we would not be using gas as much, which would also lead to helping with global climate change and pollution as well. The third benefit is it would have more free time. While being in the car, the driver most of the time is mainly focused on driving and keeping people safe in the car. With that, the parents of children would be able to enjoy spending time with their kids on the way. For example, maybe playing a game, watching a movie, or even being able to sightsee. Also, with the more free time, people would be more productive. For example, say a businessman is going through rush hour traffic in New York City, they would be able to work on what they need to do while in the car. Lastly, is it increases access to everyone. For example, people with disabilities, handicap, would be able to use this car, and as well as people without driver's licenses as well. Which Keegan may touch on is the driver's licenses. That'll get to a point where we don't know if people will actually need those anymore. And we actually read a funny article as well as people with the access or whatever would be able to put their children or even their dogs and send them to random places. Like, for example, if your kid wanted to go to a friend's house, you put them in the car and send them over and then have the car come back home. So these are some of the four major benefits, and I'll hand it over to Keegan to touch on what to expect.
All right, so what to expect with this new technology. So a lot of companies are going to try and take advantage of this. What we can expect is driverless deliveries. Almost all delivery services, like he said, you can deliver a person or everybody. They're going to be putting all their products in there. You look at probably trucking companies, so truckers can only drive for a certain amount of time before they have to take a break. And instead of having that time where the truck isn't moving, it's not on the road, the driver can be sleeping and the truck is still moving on its route to the final destination. So this is making it very inexpensive, less drivers would be needed. And this is kind of we've already started to see this happen with the drones that Amazon have been using. I don't know if you guys seen those videos where they have drones, they're starting to deliver packages with drones to your doorstep. So this is kind of just the very beginning of that, a very small level, but very cool to see. Another thing, because like he mentioned, it becomes much safer on the road because all of hopefully one day all these cars will be driverless and they'll interact with one another, and fewer accidents will be caused. So the National Safety Council estimates that about 38,300 people were killed last year and 4.4 million injured on US roads alone. Driverless cars have the potential to push this number to nearly zero, considering, for instance, the airline industry they have their autopilot systems. Considering that, like how low the accident injury rate is there, that's about what you could expect with driverless cars one day. Another thing to expect, it's going to save the government a lot of money. So Arizona State and the Brookings Institute did this study, and they said the technology within these vehicles will save taxpayers $10 billion a year by eliminating inefficiencies in the transportation system, such as traffic congestion, road damage, and as previously mentioned, death or injury. Another factor in what to expect is how drastic the design changes in cars will be. So the vehicles won't need to withhold the same standards as before because they'll be much safer, so less accidents. They don't have to be, I don't want to say as sturdy, but they'll be able to use different materials to make them more efficient. There'll be much more innovative designs, like mentioned earlier. There'll be 100% electric, significant innovations in materials, and cars will be re-optimized to support variability and adapt to much more controlled environments, as hopefully one day all cars will be driverless.
So we have a cool video for you guys. This is the Google car, self-driving vehicle called Waymo.
Today, we have something extra special for you guys, and you guys will be some of the first people outside of our team and outside of Google to ever drive in it.
Isn't that cute? Okay, Annie, here we go. All right, Connie, let's go. There's no steering wheel in the way.
It was a big decision for us to go and start building our purpose-built vehicles for this. And really, they're prototype vehicles. They were a chance for us to explore what does it really mean to have a self-driving vehicle. But in the small amount of time we've been working on it, and we have functional prototypes. It's exciting.
It's really cool. It was like really kind of a space age experience.
Okay. We're like thieves.
You said, relax. You don't have to do nothing. It knows when you need to stop. It knows when you need to go.
It actually rides better than my own car.
Yes.
What she really liked was that it slowed down before it went around a curve and then accelerated in the curve. She's always trying to get me to do it that way.
That's the way I learned in the high school driver's ed.
So if I had a self-driving car, I could spend more time hanging out with my kids or helping them with their homework, even just tending to them, finding out how their day was and not having to wait till you get home and have dinner and all that. So it'll be good.
Human feeling of it is very well engineered, and it is very smooth. There's nothing that makes you feel the least bit threatened. It's impressive. I'm totally in love with this whole concept.
Our lives are made up of lots and lots of little things. And a lot of those little things for most people have to do with getting from place to place in order to connect and do things, and be with people, go places that they need to go and do things. And so there's a big part of my life that's missing, and there's a big part of my life that a self-driving vehicle would bring back to me.
This is the first step for us, and it's really exciting to see the progress we've made. The opportunity for people to just move around and not worry about it, it's going to be incredibly empowering and incredibly powerful for people.
I love this!
So that was the video. So we basically talked about car brand and companies that are involved with self-driving vehicles. We talked about the benefits and what to expect. You guys have any questions? All right, go ahead.
What do they average like the price for a self-driving car?
Well, Right now, there's really no set price, but the technology built right now is very expensive. So, for example, Tesla, for example, raised the price of $100,000. Obviously, that's really expensive. However, doing our research, apparently over the next like 10 years, they're trying to reduce those prices. So as the years go on, the technology is going to get cheaper and cheaper. But right now, it's really expensive. Obviously, $100,000. A lot. Go ahead.
So do you think the UI in about 10 or 20 years will be like one of the things in the past?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, like I said, with that being said, with the safety, I mean, cops wouldn't really have to pull anybody over because nobody's technically driving. I mean, that would be more on the manufacturer and like what they put in the car and the safety systems that are involved. So I believe that DUIs wouldn't exist anymore.
Personally, would you think they're really safe? I mean, the cars that we have now, they have recalls. So who's to say they don't have recalls and then something happens? So do you think they're really safe?
Well, right now it's still like a work in progress, like they showed there. I think the cars, like I know back home in Canada, they actually just recently started testing them, and it's not like a full-on thing yet because, like you said, like it's not completely safe. They can't right now. The technology isn't 100% there with like Jacob type like moral decisions, something like that, or like even just predicting human nature. Like it's tough to predict what other cars are doing when there's another driver behind the wheel, but what their idea is that hopefully one day all of them will be driverless, and they'll all work together, so it would be able to predict that, and hopefully it would be safer. Like I talked with the airline system, with the autopilot system, so.
David?
With all these driverless cars, is that going to mean like less jobs? Like you said, Uber is going to have drivers in it, but once they actually get it working, probably like.
Believe it or not, self-driverless cars, it does seem like they will take away some jobs. Like, for example, taxi drivers, that's going to be a major issue. You know, you got self-driving vehicles driving people from point A to point B. You know, a lot of people are going to be affected by that. I know that New York is not very fond of self-driving vehicles just because you got a lot of taxi drivers who build their salary off, you know, being a taxi driver. So I know New York is very slow with the process of self-driving vehicles. So you're absolutely right with that. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, what do you think this will do to like the driving age? Like I know, like when we were all 16, like we got our driver's permit or whatever like that. You would learn to drive and stuff like that. But like in like 10 years, do you think they'll be doing that anymore? Like, what's the point of having a driver's license if you're not actually going to get behind the wheel of a car and drive?
That's one of the things we read about. So they're hoping that, like Jacob mentioned, it'll be accessible to everyone. You wouldn't even need a driver's license because you hop in the car and it takes you from point A to point B. The same idea as riding a bus or a taxi, right?
Yeah.
So one article I did read about is like the safety of that, like for parents who just want to plunk their kid in the car and send them off to the park or send them wherever. I mean, there's still kind of some tough parenting decisions behind that. You can't just send a small child in the car off to anywhere.
Yeah.
They still have to be supervised, and so there's that to go along with it. But I mean, yeah, essentially you wouldn't need a driver's license anymore.
Due to time, we got one more question here.
So like what age would you be able to be by yourself in the car? Like say you did get, not like you would get pulled over, but like if you did, what would happen if you were like 12 by yourself?
Well, I mean,
I would say that at that point, I guess, I mean, most of us at that age, I believe, like, could take care of ourselves. I mean, without having our parents. Like I was saying, like, I could just tell my kid if he wanted to go hang out with his friend, just go in the car, take it, put in your friend's address and go over. So I think at that age, like, I think it would be okay. Like I said, police wouldn't necessarily be able to pull you over because it'd be the car that's making the decision. So I mean, yeah, you bought the car, but like I said, it'd be more on the manufacturer and the companies that build the car, where if there was something like a defect in the car, it'd be on them that the accident or whatever happens, they'd be responsible.
That's all the time we have. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.